Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Pallet of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another issue of good old Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol. If you like these videos, obviously give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't hit subscribe before, and of course drop me a comment down below, and let's get into what is going to be a slightly weird episode, in all honesty. So this week we're on issue 45 of Good Old Combat Patrol magazine. It is our second lot of the 10 Orc Boys for the Good Old 40k Combat Patrol. They're all push fit minis, they're all relatively easy to build, very straightforward. There's very few interchangeable parts, but there are some interchangeable parts, so you can have a little bit of fun with it. So you can put a burner on there, you can put the claw and all that jazz, and yeah, some different parts for different ones, and then all the others are very straightforward and very simple to put together. Happy days. The other thing that I'm going to mention, obviously we had some of these not long ago, so I'm not going to go into them too much. I got a weird I have a weird feeling. Obviously it was very rainy in the UK last night, and yesterday. I have a feeling this was put somewhere by where I fetch it from, that isn't the most waterproof, because all this side is wet, that edge dry. It's a bit weird. I don't think it's going to pick up very well on there, but you can see condensation inside the bag a lot, because the bags are the bag is slightly perforated. So yeah, I have a feeling some water got into it, and yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to try and dry it out as best as I can, but I'm still going to do the video because I want to do the video, and I'm not going to try and dry it out before doing the video because that seems a little bit daft. So as I say, this is going to be weird because the pages are going to be slightly stuck together. Yeah, first time for everything, I guess, isn't there, really? So yeah, I'm used to issues being missing or parts missing and all that type of stuff, or either misprinted or stuck together because they haven't hole punched it very well, or put the glue in prop on the edge properly. Never before have I had any one of these magazines, from good old Mortal Realms to Stormbringer to Imperium magazine to now Combat Patrol. I've never had one that was ever damp and soggy when I've been doing the video. So this is really bizarre. It is what it is. We're gonna make the most of it, and yeah, there's not really much else to say about it. It's it is what it is. You know, I can't control it, I can't change it. Yeah, at first I thought a drink had leaked in my backpack or something like that, and it had done it, but no, it's definitely older. Anyway, enough about that yeah, weirdness. Anyway, issue 45, obviously coming with 10 Orc Boys. We had them a couple of weeks ago anyway, so this gives us 20 for our Combat Patrol. Obviously there's more Orc stuff to come, so we've got the Deathcopters, and we've got the Boomdacker Snaz Wagon, which is still one of the best things ever to say. And yeah, we have some really good stuff. Then we've got Leagues of Votan coming soon as well, which will be really cool as well. Then we've got good old the Astra Militarum to come. We've got Gene Stealers. We've got World Eaters. Is it World Eaters? I've forgotten. I can't remember anymore. It's been one of them days. Anyway, fun times. Yeah. Anyway, into the soggiest issue ever. Obviously, we are greeted by a how to build guide. It's very straightforward. You've already kind of built these up before. Obviously, you had different versions, so you can build your boss knob with the claw, with the mechanical claw and all that type of jazz on his hand, in place of having two firearms, or a blade and a firearm, and that type of thing. So pretty good. You build him exactly really the same way, and you'll still have the little contraption on his back, on the soggy pages, as you can see the tide line on there as well. So yeah, that's very straightforward. You get to do your slugger choppers and shooters and all that good stuff, and then finally you got your good old rocket launcher, not burner, rocket launcher, so it's not a flamethrower. Anyway, but yeah, your little rocket launcher. chappy on the back, and you get to have a bit of fun with that. Very, very straightforward, very, very easy to build. They are push fit, and they're not too bad of a push fit. I must admit, I trimmed the pegs down slightly on mine, and then still glued them together anyway, because it just made it easier. Anyway, you got your paint guide. So the paint guide, obviously, you're going to paint it up exactly the same way as you painted with all of the others. So, top tip, during the warmer weather, spray paint them. It's far easier to get your priming done if you're using a bad and black spray paint or one of the Colourforge spray paints or anything like that. You can use Mechanica Standard Grey if you want. You can even go green if you really, really wanted to. It's entirely up to you. You can do it. And yeah, it just helps speed things up. My biggest bugbear with these magazines is it telling you to brush base coat with over the entire model with a single colour. Personally, spray paint all the way. Unless you are in a climate where you can't spray paint, then that is your option. But I would always go spray paint. I must admit, I spray painted my good old Grand Cafe Sky Lantern the other day. Far easier. If I had tried to brush paint Wraithbone over the entirety of the top part of the good old Sky Lantern and then brush paint it, primed all of the other rest of the mini, I would have really, really, really been frustrated and irritable. I've done it before with I had a Moomakill for the good old Lord of the Rings battle game a long time ago, about 20 years ago, and I did that all by brush. By the time I base coated it, I wasn't really that fussed about painting the bugger up. So, spray paint is easier, especially for big models. Anywho, moving on from there, you paint, obviously, using your usual colours, bad and black, lead, belcher, good old orc flesh, your Mechanica Standard Grey, Catachan flesh, Rathgar flesh, Mephiston red and all that jazz, and have a little bit of fun with it. You can tart it up as much as you like or as little as you like. You could have them looking like the basic versions of orcs as you want. You can go really, really fancy if you really want to do all things like the checkerboard patterns and all that type of stuff that the heavy metal team do, and they have things like the box art and everything like that. And as you can see on some bits here, they've got like on Chopper, you can do, you do not have to if you do not want to, but it's entirely up to you. You could do it with flames if you really wanted to and make them look like they're hot rods and stuff like that, but have a bit of fun with it. Enjoy your mini. If you are going to paint all them little bits of detail, if you make a mistake, you can go back over with the other colour to kind of get it back right. So, yeah, it's very easy to fix, but it's a very time-consuming process. So, very straightforward. And then, yeah, you got all them bits and pieces. As I say, so straightforward. I'm not really going to go too heavily into it. Basing, obviously they want you to do some basing, dry brushing your basing and stuff like that. It's up to you if you're going for the Astro Granite that they gave us last week, or if you want to go and get yourself some Sterling Mud, or if, I don't know, you want to get yourself a bag of the modelling sand that you can get from like Geek Gaming Scenics, and you can order it from Wayland Games and Element Games and places like that. Entirely up to you. But basing your mini is a very, 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 very good thing to do. It makes it so much better when you've got your mini on there and it's based. You put tufts of grass on there. You can get little 3D printed mushrooms if you really, really wanted to, from places like Green Stuff World, and you can pop them onto there. You can do a little bit of everything. You can put skulls, you can get the Citadel skulls. I've got absolutely hundreds of them. You can do that. You can get some jungle bits and pieces like the ferns and vines and stuff like that. Yeah, you can do a bit of everything. So entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it, but basing is really, really, really good fun and makes your model stand out a little bit better as well. So, continuing through the soggy pages of this week's magazine, you've got your collect page again, so you can unit name these 10 as well as your other 10, having completely different names if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. It is your choice at the end of the day. You get your data sheet. Obviously, we've already had the data sheet and we've had the data card, which are pretty much exactly the same. So, you know, you get to do all of that again, which is so straightforward, it's unbelievable. That's about it for that bit. Moving on to your core rules. So we're getting more and more of the core rules on how to go through all your missions. So, before you can wage war in a game of Warhammer 40,000, you must first select a mission. The core rules include a single mission, only war. That is ideal to get the action started quickly. Others can be found elsewhere in this or other books. So, you could play a mission of your own creation. If you and your opponent can't agree which mission to play, you can just roll for it if you really wanted to. So, this magazine is going to give us some different kind of missions overall. If you need other missions, you can get them in kind of like the supplements and stuff like that that we release every so often. We've got old 40k. If you're an Age of Sigmar player, it'll be things like the General's Handbook and stuff like that, and they do very, very similar. They do an annual book as well for good old 40k, where you can get missions from there. You get some missions in Warhammer, in good old White Dwarf magazine. You can find them sometimes on the Warhammer community website, and of course you can just make your own. So if you want to go, I want an attack and defend style mission, where our mission is to destroy this, I don't know, if you've got a bit of scenery, you can use a bit of scenery in there, and that's the mission for the orcs, to destroy that, and we're going to say that's got 10 hit points or something like that, and then the other player has to defend that item. So you can do that type of thing if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. The only war scenario is that you are just literally, it's just a war. It's just literally battle, capture points, kill each other, have fun, and that's it. So, mentions all about things like making sure you're using objective markers for your objectives and stuff like that. You center your battlefield so you can kind of key locations for your maps and stuff like that. So you'll have your actual center, defender's edge, your attacker's edge, your no man's land areas and such like that. So you kind of design the map around those areas, and away you go, and happy days. Using your battle maps, obviously you can see, you can use your deployment zones, and you can decide to go for that way. You can go different ways, entirely up to you. Have a bit of fun with it. Then, obviously, we get good old scenario number 29, a gooder crumping. So, obviously, you're going to be using orcs, and you're going to be using Tyranids, going up against each other, and smashy nicey time, and it is all about giving each other a really good thumping. And as you can see, magazine's wet, so I'm going to have a whole massive gaps in pages. Anyway, it is what it is. You get to utilise all the special abilities, so get them lads, got them surrounded, and nobody shoots at me. Scenarios and kind of abilities within the game that you can utilise. Obviously, the scenarios walk you through, but a little less hand-holdy now to kind of get you going. And then you got all your scenarios as well, so your victory conditions that you can utilise, and away you go. Have a bit of fun with it. Definitely worth having a read through. Hopefully your magazine's not wet like mine. Anyway, moving on from there, you can also go through different other versions. So you can go, if you want to go Terminators, Choppers, and everything like that, and you can have a little bit more fun with it. So you can choose your enemies and replay through the missions, which is always a really, really good thing to do. Moving on to the very last soggy page of this week's issue. Obviously, we're going to get what's coming next week. So, hopefully, it won't be a damp issue, but we have a paint issue nonetheless. We have Stormhost Silver and we get Night Quest of Flesh. Both are very, very good. I must admit, I use both of them. Stormhost Silver is a nice bright silver, which is a really, really good paint to utilise, especially on the edge of weapons, and to make it look a little bit kind of shinier and stuff like that, which is really, really good fun. Your Night Quest of Flesh is a kind of a darker tone flesh. It works very, very well though. So it's a really, really good one. And you can also utilise it for highlighting on things like the good old leather areas and such like that you use for Catachan flesh on, for instance. So yeah, you can have a bit of fun with that. So it's not too bad. Issue 47 and 48 though are going to be really good fun. So part 1 and 2 of our free Deathcopters, which I must admit I'm looking forward to. I do like the Deathcopters. So we'll get a little bit more about them. We'll get a little bit more information about highlighting, obviously utilising things like Stormhost Silver, which will be one of the main ones, and some new rules for the faction. But yeah, we might even get a good bit of lore to do with the good old Deathcopters, and the fact that orcs believe that they should fly, and they fly. So it is what it is. It's all about the power of belief, said the cult leader to his followers. Anyway, yeah, it's been a soggy issue, but thank you very, very much for watching, and hopefully next week's a dry one. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.